Okay, this recording is done for an assignment that I've given to a couple different college classes about writing a persuasive paper. The emphasis is going from note taking to writing rough draft body paragraphs quickly and efficiently. All right, so it is, what time is it? 11:20, 11:17. So I'm going to try to push through research on my 5 body paragraphs. Planning is the key. So if you have the 5 body paragraphs planned out about the point that you're introducing first, not the introduction paragraph, but your first body paragraph about when you're introducing your argument. I already have that. I'll click on it to show you. I copied and pasted and put in my source link there. I wrote in my commentary. It's not perfect, but I just got to put down something. Okay, I'm going to put in my second source there, and I'm going to go through all my body paragraphs. Bang, 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 bang. I'm not going to try to be perfect. Perfect is slow, and it's impossible the first time. So instead, I'm going to put on chill wave, something mellow. Everybody else is asleep. The dog isn't even in the room. And I'm going to see if I can if I know what sources I'm going to try to look for, either using Google Scholar or Google, we should be okay. All right, I'll check back here. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so I put in, let's check the time, 13 minutes later. This is what I had about my first piece of source material about how much money the big schools pay the little schools for these playing games. It's hard to tell because some of the stuff's private. Like private universities don't have to open their books, but public schools do. So somewhere between 138 million and well over 160 million is crazy. Now I wrote my notes to paraphrase the rest of it, and then say squash down to just well over. I'm only quoting 1, 2, 3, 4 words. You know what I'm saying? I can paraphrase this top stuff. I'm still giving him credit. And notice, I had Scriber tell me how to do these things, how to do the parenthetical citation. Use Scriber. But notice that if it goes quotes, parentheses, and then the period, that stuff has to be right. Okay? So imitate what they show you. And we got that by, as soon as you search something on Scriber, it's a good little song. As soon as we search something on Scriber, and it fills all the stuff in, you say cite the source, and when you hover over it, it'll say click to copy if you want, or the in-text citation, and that's what tells you click on this and copy it and put your paper. But quotes, if you end their sentence with a quote, quotes, parentheses, period. All right, back to this. So I don't know how I'm going to blend this quote, but I'm trying to tell myself, paraphrase all this crap, and really just quote well over. That's an estimate that somebody else is making, so I got to put that back on Berkowitz. That was the name of the Son of Sam serial killer. It was David Berkowitz. Probably not the same guy. So I wrote my commentary in here. It's not very good, but I can work on it later. And so my second source, I took from this Sports Illustrated article, and I kind of want to show you some stuff. So I started out with an awful lot of quoted material. Anyway, I'll show you that in a second. Give me 1 second. Shoot, where'd it go? There we go. So all of this stuff I copied and pasted. Everything's in bold. Actually, more than that. Almost everything here is copied and pasted from the article. So this lists different money amounts that different schools will not get for specific games. And I want to show you how you can squash things down to a certain amount of quoted material still paraphrase, give them credit in the parenthetical citation. So I want you to see the comparison between almost all of this, pretty much everything, is not my words, are not my words. Okay, so this is my right now final product. So an already brutal year, the MAC will lose more than $10 million for missing 11 games. And then quotes, parentheses, period. Now, I'm going to clean up all this stuff later. You know, the font color's different and all the other stuff and the bold. I'll clean that up later. And then I said Ball State loses a whatever game against Michigan. Buffalo won't get a 1.7 against Ohio State. Kent State loses a blah, blah, blah. But the most damaging aspect wasn't the cancellations. I should probably put the cancellations themselves. But, and I probably should put, like, as athletic directors describe it, how they did it. Because they just canceled. Now, this does not look awesome, having the same source like that. It really doesn't. And I could probably get away with just putting this here, because common sense that says that both of these sources are that. But let's look at this again. I took this long paragraph of all the lists of the schools and just put them in simple sentences. There's nothing wrong with that. That's paraphrasing. It's fine. But it condenses what this awesome piece of information I found and makes it smaller and leaves more room for my interpretation. So if I go back to my commentary, because I still comment after that, I still included a fact. Like later on in the article, it says that Kent State lost $5 million for its entire athletic budget. I wanted to show you this because sometimes you can emphasize a word by putting it in italics. Instead of doing like the very, very, very big, like with the verbs and the adjectives and the intensifiers and all that, italics is a great way to get somebody's attention because it's like you're really leaning in and saying, not just this football budget, these are how these schools fund gymnastics and track and field and other revenue, non-revenue generating sports. So as I wrote this, I felt like I had to have this. As in one press conference, Kent State, a little drama to that. That's my own wording. As they sat there, they had no warning. Did I misspell cancellation? Yes, I did. Anyway, don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough for now. Write some commentary and move on. But right now, I just want to show you what I have. I have a chunk here. I got this thing. I haven't even blended the quote yet. I haven't even really written it. But I copied it and bolded it. I wrote this stuff about, talking how big this money is. And the word dependent. I've repeated that a couple times. And while I'm repeating that, this is going to be my commentary, or I'm sorry, my conclusion sentence. What should be your topic sentence? You notice I wrote this, it said to be written later. Now's the time. Whatever the two source material things have in common, that's the topic sentence, because that's what it's about. But the argument I'm making is the conclusion sentence. Does that make sense? So the topic is about the money. So I'm going to write some sentence here about the money being insane. This is crazy how much money it is. And there is clearly haves and have-nots. And, anyway, there's that. When I go ahead and write my conclusion, that one's going to be about being dependent. Dependent? Is that how you spell it? That's how you spell it. So, this to me, I have done everything except for write it. I've used Scriber. I'm going to check my clock again. It's 11:38 p.m. I started this paragraph at 11:15. So I am less than a half an hour away from starting this. It has nearly been written. The next thing I do is I'm going to rewrite those 6 sentences I have in the middle. 6 or 7, whatever. I already know my parenthetical citation. I know what I'm going to blend. I just have to kind of introduce it with some flow. It still doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be a little bit better. That's all. And just watch my verbs and all that stuff. But I just wanted to show you that note-taking can be this really dynamic thing where you challenge yourself to digest what somebody else wrote and then add your own commentary. Now, I'm breaking one of my own rules, starting it with this. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I try not to say this because it's pronouns are kind of weak. So anyway, but that doesn't. I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm not the writer right now. I'm the gatherer, and I completely trust myself in the future. So do not criticize the process. Give yourself room to give those extra thoughts later on. So I know I'm going to write a topic sentence about the money. I should probably disparity. There we go. I should type that in. I can take this away. That's just I was labeling my article. I made that link into or whatever. Same thing here. I'm going to get rid of that. And then later on, when I write this paragraph, I know what I'm going to write. Dependency. That's what it should be. Of group of. Quit watching me type. I suck when people watch me type. There we go. Cool. 1 down. 4 to go.